Hello, and welcome to Bees to Billionaires, the only podcast where two attractive people meet every single Thursday to rank everything but doesn't exist in a single itemized list from best to worst. For Bees to Billionaires, I'm Joshua Joel.
And I'm Emily!
We can't do the same gag twice.
Oh, well, too late. That was my funny thing. No, hello, it's me, your boy, Sam. I'm back.
You're no one's boy.
No. That's a shame. Well.
How are you, Sam?
I'm fine. Yeah, just enjoying the Monday. I mean, Thursday.
Yeah. It's a bank holiday Thursday, so you've got work after to yeah. Man, this is a podcast where we've got a list or whatever. The current list has 61 items on it, and what else
amazing.
did say? I try and summarize it each time, but I have no idea. I don't know what I'm saying when I summarize it, so I just make it up on the spot each time, and it's kind of a mess. It's like bees, and then me and Emily, and some movies or whatever, and then
yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate.
and then cream eggs, and then corpses.
I hate cream eggs.
Well, actually, the corpses are bees. We haven't put real human corpses on it. Sam, do you want to put real human corpses on the list with me?
No. I've just had my lunch, so I want it to go down a bit first before we go there.
We can talk about corpses without it putting off your lunch. I think they're better than cream eggs.
No.
Okay, that's for the world, for the environment. Cream egg. That's a lot of waste, a lot of miles in the back of a truck. I reckon. I reckon that a human corpse, it's better for the world, I think.
I mean, I really hate cream eggs, so I'm very happy putting it above a cream egg.
Wow, you and Emily both don't think very highly of cream eggs.
No, they should be lower on the list. They are horrible.
Are they that bad?
They are. They're just. Oh, no, they're
just. I like a cream egg.
No.
I like the chocolate on the edge of a cream egg more than other chocolate. I don't know if that's just a bit of a placebo. What's up with that? But no, I love a cream egg. I don't love a cream egg, which is why it's 50th on the list. But they're all right. I'm trying to think of how much I value. Just we all say we want to reject modernity, return to tradition, and I think dying in the forest and letting the trees eat your bones is pretty much that's the definition of returning to tradition, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's
dust to dust.
If I have to go, I wouldn't be upset if that's how I went.
I'm just wondering how much I think.
I mean, there's a story in there.
I think that's better than number 40, Lego Anakin's Jedi Interceptor.
What? Dying in a forest on your own?
Just being a human corpse, yeah.
In a forest.
Oh, yeah. Are we talking about corpses in general, or are we talking about specifically?
Yeah,
decomposing.
I mean, if you just straight, I mean, there are some if you die in a cool way, there's a story behind there. How did the body get here? What happened there in this regard? If you just straight up die in your sleep, I mean, yeah, that's a good way, but it's kind of lame. But Viking burial. That's
so
we're
now talking specifically about dying in a forest.
That's where I'm going.
Okay, sure. We'll switch off corpses then. Yeah, becoming one with nature.
Yeah, because
how much higher are we willing to go with it though? Is it as good as the Phantom Menace? Honestly,
no.
I'm getting into the aesthetic now. I think it's better than the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I'm just imagining a skeleton lying against an old wooden log, and there's moss going up the side. Yeah. There was a nest in the skull or something. The eye socket, full on
mycelium inside my muscles as they decay.
So yeah, termite your house to a colony of termites and such.
Hmm.
And then, of course, some teenage kids come walking in the woods, uncover some leaves, and they get spooked because you were there.
I'd much rather be deep in the woods. No one will ever find my bones. Let my old friend the wind blow through my head.
You'll hear the trees cry out when they fall, and no one's around.
I'll be there. Yeah. God bless.
Yeah, all I got is that image, and that image is pretty...
Do you, have you ever seen, I think it's a Tumblr post or something, but it was a post about, just an alternate universe or whatever, where instead of oceans, there was a forest, and the deeper you get into the oceans, the trees get bigger and bigger, and it gets darker and scarier or whatever. That's just an unrelated aside, but I really love that aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Sam, number 18. Sam.
Yes.
Is dying in the woods and becoming one with the trees better or worse than you?
A lot of things have gotten better than me, and I'm getting a bit
You're number
annoyed.
18 out of 61. I mean, that's pretty good. You're better than Kung Fu Panda 2, Sam. Take the wins you can get.
I'd say it's just below me.
You want to say it's just below you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, okay. Number 19 out of 61. Dying in the woods and becoming one with the trees. Which I kind of added random capitalization in that sentence. Cool. Number 19, Blammo. Actually, so I wanted to discuss something with you, Sam.
Oh, okay. Yeah?
And that is, obviously, me and Emily are very high on this list.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because you made it and you're in charge, and
what you
say goes.
The list is morally correct. Correct. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole point. It's the whole point of the list is that for the rest of your life you can say, do I want currency to exist, or do I want to get with Scott from Monster Prom? I'm actually realizing the list must be wrong because currency's higher than Scott for some reason. So, and if everyone lived by this list, there would be, there'd be no crime, there'd be no hate.
There'll just be sunflowers and rainbows. And...
Yeah, dude.
The unicorn here and there.
Mostly bees. Bees most of all.
Unicorn
as their
bees?
number one on the list. Oh, we can come back to that. But anyway, so me and Emily are so high on the list because obviously we're doing important work here at Beats to Billionaires, and yet you're here too on the list, Sam.
Yeah.
And I've kind of realised that obviously the more you contribute to the list, the more kind of biblically relevant you are. I'd say the more kind of important
the more law I have.
So let me. You're moving up.
Yay!
Is what I'm saying, and you know what? I'll also. We'll make Dying in the Woods becoming one with the trees. We'll make that still be directly below you. So both of those things are going above tractors.
Ooh.
And let me I've messed up the list moving these things around. I don't know how to use sheets very efficiently, but that doesn't matter. Okay, you are now number 17 out of 62. Dying in the Woods becoming one with the trees. Number 18, followed by tractors. Good stuff. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy. I'm going up in the world, and that's we're working hard, and the fruits of my labour.
We do have a things category. So the categories aren't actually relevant to the podcast, but they're just good they're nice to have in case we ever need to filter the list, especially if it gets too long and unwieldy. I realized that maybe I think I need things kind of worked as the miscellaneous section, but actually now I'm thinking that like dying in the woods becoming one with the trees doesn't belong in the same categories as like monster trucks and like it belongs in the same category as the existence of colds, but not as like things. Yeah, because it's more.
What's it? Is it more?
What's the word?
It's more about
it's
death and
tangible.
disease.
It's not tangible.
Yeah,
so we'll say we're making a miscategory.
All right. Oh, well, that was one down.
Good stuff. Do we wanna cover unicorn bees?
Yes, let's go. Unicorn bees.
Okay, first, remind me what is good about unicorns. Like, what's the accepted? Because there's like a lot of folklore about unicorns, right? Are they Celtic in nature? Is that where they originate from?
Well, possibly. I feel a lot of like fantasy creatures in folk tales are very much it's very much like a game of like Chinese whispers, and then like how the conversation gets worse and worse. So like a merchant went to Africa and saw a rhino and was there like, oh yeah, that's really weird, but went back and explained,
it's the size of a horse with a horn on it.
Yeah, and you can now completely see how someone, after being heard the description of a horse, well, no, not a horse, a rhino, and then turns it into a unicorn, and that's where quite a lot of folk tales sort of come into play. So, but from that, a lot of them is like
it's like how
the
also
horn's magical.
Assuming that unicorns are. Sorry,
so,
what was that?
Yeah, it's like the horn. The horn is magical, and often it can grant you a wish. So that's a common thing. Along with, often they're sentient. They can talk. Like sort of. That's the common theme. So
yeah. So I mean, let's just read I've got my my tome of folklore and real world religions here. So unicorns. So they've got an armor class of 12. They speak Celestial, Elvish, Sylvan, and that's it. They don't speak Common. That's kind of whack. But I guess that makes sense. Telepathy up to 60 feet.
that makes sense.
Spellcasting. So D&D 5th edition, it lists them as Celestials, not Fae, and I think that's stupid.
No, I completely agree.
You agree with that?
I agree with them being Celestials.
Why?
Because they're far more biblical in nature. Fae is a lot more elvish and a lot more sort of. It's a lot more like. I'm just thinking more like green dryads, one like literal part forest creatures. But a unicorn is more.
So on the opening page for unicorns, it says forest lords. That would make them fae, surely. Unicorns don't live in heaven. They live in the woods.
It's more that they're a sentient being. They're the protectors. They're of morally good. Like it's more to do with their representation in like pop culture and such. Like they're a celestial in that regard, and where and of course they're most common in forests because, well, where else would you find them? But I agree with them being celestials.
Oh, apparently unicorns were mentioned by the ancient Greeks. Damn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so they're older than I attributed them to, or whatever the hell it is I'm saying. Cool.
Right.
That actually blurs the line between celestial and fae a lot, because obviously the Greeks, their whole thing was that gods, they lived in like nature, and that was the gods' realm, and like you knew your place and you didn't go there. So like, people make fun of the Greeks being like, oh yeah, all the gods live on that one mountain, and none of them ever went to check. It's like, well, have you ever heard a single Greek myth? You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, the purpose of myths was very much it's like stories as to like, make sure you don't go here because it's dangerous. Like, there's a lot of sea creatures are a good example, because
I guess
most people didn't know how to swim, so
like
instead of teaching them, be like, if you go into the pond, your boy Fishman will eat you, and then it will scare the kids off, and then but it's usually the purpose of myths, is a way to tell stories, because it's still moralistic, the moralistic plays and such.
I wouldn't be bold enough to say anything for or against that statement. I'm not going to try and sound like an authority or anything.
Well, no, moralistic play is like the moral of the story. That's what they're called, those types of stories.
Sure.
But because the Greeks absolutely love throwing tragedy in every single story, it's hilarious. But they're really cool, and I do like Greek myths. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But going back to unicorn bees.
Yeah, they can cast Dispel Good and Evil. That's a 5th level.
Yeah, and they can make honey as well.
Yes. What?
Oh, rainbow honey. Of course. It has to be.
Would it be rainbow honey?
Well,
I know.
It needs a bit. Now I'm just thinking of it's just going into cheesy, like, unicorns with rainbows and such, but I feel like if it's a unicorn bee, it needs to make some special honey.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it must be like like a blessing from the forest lord when you get some honey. Maybe you barely ever see the unicorn bee, but maybe one day, beekeeper's down his luck and he could barely afford to feed himself, and yet he's still putting out like milk for like the local fae, as all should if you're living near the wilderness. Don't always stay firm with the milk. It's like
sort of he's praying to, like, oh blessed bee, please.
And then you just see one day the bee, the honey he gets is just surprisingly, it's got a nice, like, blonde. It's a little bit sparkly.
Yeah,
just a little nibble. I know. I've run out of stuff to say. I don't know what it would do. I think it would just be really good honey. Maybe like
I'm going with healing properties.
Yeah. I think that goes without saying. Maybe you just feel like his sore back
one drop of unicorn bee is enough to bring a man from the verge of death.
Manages to like build 20 new beehives that day because he's invigorated by the spirits.
Oh, it's like lemon bread. That's all you need is like one, and then that's it for the day. Do.
I kind of get the sense that from a societal point of view, a unicorn bee is more of like a unicorn bee has to be as rare as unicorns are in nature, right?
Yeah.
I think horses see unicorns a lot more than people do because it's their nature and they've got less sin or whatever.
They're cousins.
Yeah. So they're like a little bit more common than like real horses are, but especially in our modern day living in the south of England. Obviously, we don't use any horses. We've driven them off. Tolkien tried to warn us. God damn it. R.I.P. in peace. But I think they're almost like I don't want to say celebrity, but they're like a paladin. They're like a missionary. They come through to the beehive. They give their blessing. They find out how the queen is treating the lower classes of the hive.
Why is he turned into like a union member? He's there with clipboard. Is your work has been all paid correctly?
Well, yeah.
So
he
the queen bee sweating a bit like, oh no, I've been sleeping my people away.
He or she or they. Obviously, unicorn bees. Maybe they don't have gender. Maybe they're all they're like legendary Pokemon. They can't breed. They're just forever and eternal. But he starts quoting. It's easier for a rich.
It's easier for a camel to get through the eye of Egypt than a rich man.
And then the queen bee goes,
"I have a needle,
but
I have a needle."
But that's I'll have you know that was a gate, and obviously the more stuff that was on the camel would be harder, but it's still possible. And then the unicorn will go, no, it's a myth made by rich people to feel less bad. This isn't a political podcast. Yeah, so I think that basically what I'm saying is that the unicorn bee shouldn't be higher than bees. I feel like they are they're like a special consequence of.
It's more
like a unicorn bee by themselves isn't
the mythology for bee kind. It's yeah.
When a storm comes through and they start knocking over and waterlogging beehives, when a true young singular bee, which just so happens to be number 44 on the list, cries out, then maybe our good brave unicorn bee will sweep down and save them.
I think it should go second.
Higher than bee crabs, the bouncers of bee society.
Because it's bee legend. This is bee myth. This is.
To be fair, yeah.
And if it wasn't for the bee, then we couldn't have gotten the bee unicorn. So yeah, that is my.
Should I have a better name, or are we just going with bee unicorn?
Let's go with the legendary bee unicorn, and then leave it at that. Just make it sound spicy.
The legendary. You hasn't changed the name. I was wondering, bee unicorn. I'm just wondering if we could, because bee corn. That's not anything. The uni bee, again, it's not great.
No, I just think the idea of a one-eyed bee. Just
that would be great. A bee clops.
A bee, but now I'm just making a bunch of.
Well, isn't clops the bit that means eyes? So it's just it's more like an angelic bee with 50 eyes on it.
Oh.
It spots that honey real good. But then when it tries to get pollen, it'll get pollen in its eyes. That would suck. Oh, it's got hay fever. Can't do that.
No, it just flies, it just bumps into everything. Yeah, I don't think that works as well. Because all we have is a bee with a horn on it. That's essentially it.
That's pretty much, yeah. I think. Is there anything?
I think this would be category myths. It's not an animal.
No, it's canon.
Oh,
well, yeah, but it's so. The intro little subtitle description of the podcast is everything that both does and doesn't exist. I feel like we've covered the basis that some of this stuff is. Yeah, well, we're not saying that a bee unicorn doesn't exist. I think there is nothing more shameful. Every time you say a bee unicorn doesn't exist, a bee unicorn dies.
Oh no! That's why their population is so low.
Actually, no, I don't think that'll happen. It's because bees don't care what humans think is possible. As the great bard once said.
The bard Seinfeld has told us. In
So
the great
I think
book
actually
of
they
Beyond.
are immune to the powers of human belief. Just about. You're like weaken their powers. Another one less, knocked over, rained on beehive can be saved.
Mm.
Man, my dad went on like a little 1-day beekeepers experience day course thingy. He was considering doing it. He hasn't.
Oh.
I think he got given by my sister a solitary beehive. So it's literally a wooden box with some holes in it, and you put it outside, and then solitary bees and other bugs might come get shelter in it. Because not all bees live in hives. Some of them they're like sexy wanderers.
Yeah, that makes sense because we invented beehives, so then we can harvest it. So yeah, that must have been natural.
Yeah,
the box ones, there are natural beehives, but yeah, sort of. Wait, they didn't just suddenly make the wooden boxes
before
themselves.
then, they still existed in societies. I'm talking about species of bees that aren't societal in nature.
Oh.
Or communal in nature, or whatever the word you want to use is. But and then like literally, it's the zero maintenance beehive. It's a box you put outside, and it's still sat on the side for like 4 months.
Oh no!
Before being put out.
Oh.
It's sort of funny. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, hey.
I want to just go more into like dumb fantasy bee lore now because that was kind of fun. I want to have like a bee themed D&D game.
Oh, that could be.
I was partially considering doing that about having a. There's like this D&D game I've been musing about doing for a little while. It's the one I told you about. I think I called it the New World Marches. I think was the proposed name. It's a West Marches style campaign. Would need like at least a dozen people because it's built around like the economy was like an important part of it because you need to build different industries. Before items could like become available and be bought and used, and then so therefore you need lots of people. And it would be like a big old world map to explore. I was considering having a little area, either like a little portal into like a section of the Feywild, or have it literally just be a place on the map. Because my world was supposed to be really funky and out there, due to its like backstory. But I had an idea of having like just like an area where it's just like big, sentient, advanced bee society. And that could have been good.
Yeah, because I like the idea, and the sort of the character I came up with it was full on. I think it's probably the most edgiest character I've played so far, but I thought,
nope.
You know what?
No.
What?
Oh, to be fair, I think you did. To be fair, when you actually started playing him, Jameer wasn't that over the top.
No.
But I remember
the concept of him
came up to me one day, and I think you even like toned him down after a while.
No,
I don't think
he was
you
always
did.
the same. He was always
the
same.
But you came up to me and you're like, I want to play a grave cleric who got resurrected from the dead. He's a cleric to an evil trickster god. Half of his face is burnt off. It's just a skull. He's got a pet raven. I was just appalled.
And then, but I always planned him that. Then he's this goofy, charming man.
Yeah, he was sort of alright. But no, the idea you told me wasn't that edgy. You just wanted to play like a pirate.
Yeah,
that's not over the top.
I think my definition of edgy is what the character actions do.
Right, yeah, I guess you know the character, whereas I only know the
description,
the premise. Yeah,
but he's gonna be I just want to ruin the economy with my pirate fleet. That's all I want to do. It's just, and then just fuck around with everyone else's plans. Just
yeah,
be
the
like...
D&D campaign, for the sake of the audience, would have been using Matthew... Damn it, he's like my favourite YouTuber, I can't even remember his name. Matt Colville, his Stronghold and Followers D&D supplement that he wrote and released. It's sat on my shelf. It's very good. So you can build keeps and... well, there's not really rules for like building cities, but it's basically implied that you build a keep and like villagers who like, or people who need protection or whatever, or people who could see like an opportunity in your place because there's no blacksmith there yet or whatever. People move in and farms will appear around it, and so you don't really control the city, and there's no like city building elements, but you build your keep and then a city happens to exist as well in the background. And yeah, and so there's rules in there for moving, for like pirate ship keeps, as well as there was a really, really cool was the barbarian camp keep, which obviously it's the military type keep, but it's less. I think it's more vulnerable to attack. It's got way less better, whatever the hell the word is, and you can't get heavy infantry. You're going to get light. I'm not sure if you can get medium, but you can only get like lightly armored troops, but then your castle has a movement speed essentially because it's just a barbarian camp. That's awesome, and I love that. And I wanted to make it. I was thinking of making a podcast, which is why I haven't actually done it yet because it would require so much work. But also, like, podcasts feel more productive than just doing stuff without recording it, even though no one listens to this. And like, if I'm going to do loads of work to make it like a 12+ person D&D campaign, with all of these rules and like so many people doing downtime at once to like improve the world and all the stuff, I was like, I might as well record it and then edit it and release it just to like validate myself a bit more. But then I never did it because, yeah, just the whole thing would take so much work. There was a point I was building to, but I've completely forgotten it. Oh yeah, but like it would have been great to have, like, you could have players be villains and stuff. And that's something I really wanted to explore. Or, yeah.
No, that sounds fun. I just really want
like
to be a pirate. So to own a pirate fleet. That sounds the most fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. I feel I had something bugging me because I feel we need to finish this. The Holy Toast trilogy that I have been recommending. I
want to have a toast segment.
No, this is the last one for toast.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Cheese on toast.
Cheese on... Okay, no, to be fair, we do need to do cheese. If we're doing toasts, I respect it. Yeah, it's alright. I think... I don't know how it compares to, like... It's a little bit more... It's a little bit less... I don't know, with my very, very basic understanding of nutrition, it feels better than jam on toast. Because it's... You know, it's like... fat and a tiny little bit of protein instead of just carb, right? It's not just sugar. So that's good. Yeah, obviously better on beans than beans on toast.
Hilariously, I don't like cheese on toast.
You don't?
No, I much prefer jam.
So out of 63, beans on toast is 57, and jam on toast is 47. So
I would put it. I would put it.
So following
I'll
jam
put
on
it
toast,
below Night Museum.
But you want to put below that? I think it's better than that. This is like the one. Like, to be fair, I only ever have toast with eggs. I don't have toast with anything else. I have like a nice little. I think it's called a poached egg, but I honestly don't know.
I love poached eggs. Do you put it in boiling water? Is that how you have it?
No. No, I just put it on. I put it on top of like a hot plate. Just on a pan. Nothing else added to it. Maybe I don't mean a poached egg.
Yeah, that's not a poached egg.
Cool. It's a poached egg, but not in water. This is the thing. Like my brain, it's very swift. I have got a quite fixed definition of what's valuable knowledge and what isn't. Like, this is like, my brain, like I barely know what the months of the year are. So
oh no!
This is my guilty secret. Because like when you're like 5, okay, why do I need to know the months? Tell me. And then so I never really learned them, and as I've grown up, it's like, oh, this is happening in August. Okay, when's August? Well, it's the number
8.
7. Oh, okay. I was about to guess. My mind did go 8 at first, but then I corrected. I was about to say 7. But it's like, oh, when's August? Oh, it's next month. Okay, great. So this is happening next month. Like, I can ask people what month it is. This is why I don't know what day it is or what the date is, because again, I can just ask. My phone tells me.
Yeah.
Problem solved. I don't even know the months.
Yeah, you also need to be like the only time I knew what day it was like when I was either at school or work, because then there's the routine through that. When it's like the holidays, I am hopeless. I'm a bit like, is it Tuesday or Sunday?
Sam.
Oh, well, what day is it?
Okay, let me give this a go. Goes to January.
Yes.
I'm pretty confident about that. January, February, April.
Wrong.
No. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Well done.
Only one mistake. Blammo.
You did it. You remembered the months.
I'm such a good voice. So yeah, I do just about know. Like if you said, like a number of month, like a third of them I might be able to figure out from the number. The rest of them, I could go through it. So I think I've got like a 75% chance of knowing.
Okay, Josh, 5.
What's 5? Oh no. May?
Not quite.
January, February, March, April, May.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I'm
sorry. I that was my fault. I somehow did January twice on my fingers. Hilariously, you're talking to someone who's also bad at the months, but we can just sideline that.
Yeah. So you want to put Cheese on Toast at number 51. So Jam on Toast, Flight of the Bumblebee, the piece of music, The Room, Night at the Museum, then this, and then it's the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. I don't know. I think I want to put Cheese on Toast higher. I mean, the list. I was thinking, like, there's so much things, like, so we're just below. Jam on Toast is just below Homestuck by like a couple options, and I'm looking at things above Homestuck, like, oh, I would happily put this way above them, and I look at Homestuck and I'm like, oh, it's not that good. This is messed up. Man, I don't know. I want to push back.
Nah, I
don't think it's.
I'm staying down below.
I would happily say
Museum.
Above Jam on Toast, you've got the Wooden Sword of Cricket Slaying, followed by up one again. It's the Singular Bee, and I'd happily say like it's worse than the Singular Bee.
I would agree with that.
But I have to say it's better than. This is tough. Okay, I want to step it up above the Night at the Museum and above The Room. Jam on Toast, Flight of the Bumblebee, Cheese on Toast. Are we right with that?
You can come to that deal. Yes.
Good. Pleasure doing business.
Pleasure doing business.
That makes Cheese on Toast number 49 out of 64.
And the Toast trilogy is complete. Has a load has been released off my back, finally.
Flammo. We haven't actually done our little movie segment.
We haven't.
It needs a jingle. The thing is, it's weird because like if I was gonna try and make like a joke about it, like a little jingle, a little funny, I don't know, it'd be about me ranting about a film to Emily who hasn't seen it and doesn't care. It's like the kind of sense I try to get from it, but that doesn't even apply this week. So I don't know. What did we watch?
We watched Spiderman.
We did.
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
I know him. Wow. Sam Raimi Spider-Man. What a good film. Top of the list.
Yeah.
I would say...
that would be. It was the first time I've seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. And...
Okay. Straight off. Okay. So obviously you're number 18. Above you is the game Fallout New Vegas. Above that is Liam DeLioncourt, the character from Monster Prom, but only under the assertion that his voice is being read in a Hulk Hogan voice.
Yeah.
That is to say, the canon Liam. Above that is Revenge of the Sith Extended Edition, which is a fan edit that has the final arc of the Clone Wars cartoon added in. It comes out to like 3 hours, 40 minutes, I think is the runtime. Bloody good film. And our movie group is named after it because that's the first film we watched. It's called Rotsy. Renters Extended Edition. I want to say that Sam Raimi Spider-Man is number 16. First thing after Rotsy.
That is pretty high.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't put it up there, but I can see it be put up there.
Sure, yeah. I think Rotsy is like the first film on the list that isn't like that I would say is like a complete work of art. It's just like a film I love. As opposed to obviously super high we've got Swiss Army Man and Akira, and then super high we've got the Homesick Epilogues, which don't deserve to be there, but also the list is infallible, so they must deserve to be there. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy the film, but I wouldn't put it up as that high.
Yeah.
I think it's such a cheesy film, but in a good way. It's very dumb and cheesy.
William Dafoe just goes for it.
I know that he was one of my favourite parts of that film.
I mean, he's one of these actors. I guess he's a little bit like. It's a bit unfair to compare him to Nicolas Cage, but he's one of these actors that shows up and just gives it his all, no matter if it kind of doesn't deserve it. He didn't want to do the film. He thought it sounded stupid, which you could kind of see what he's coming from when you see his performance. Like,
it's
he takes a super serum, then jumps into like an empty window frame and like almost in like the Spider-Man pose where he's got legs spread, one hand down between his legs, the other one in the air, and he's like growling and snarling, and it's just completely over the top. But yeah, and then he found out that they were casting Tobey Maguire, who an unknown actor who I don't want to say it. I don't know if him not being like attractive was one of the reasons why that got.
I think it was more the baby face. That's
whatever
more
the hell
likely.
the actor we're talking about, William Dafoe, liked about it. But like, it's rude to say, but I think that Tobey Maguire, like, he isn't actually unattractive, but like for Hollywood standards, he's not.
He's standard. He's very.
He plays a unassuming, unimportant guy whose life is kind of shitting on him very well.
Yeah.
In a way that Andrew Garfield can't.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Garfield looks like a model.
Yeah.
I just spat all over my mic.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd share that.
Well, I also do like about Spider-Man. It's very much in comparison to so many like Marvel films. Like,
yeah, well, it was like
it's really fun seeing how like it's cheesy and all these tropes are done before, but it's so much of it is the characters are really compelling. Like half the lines on there, like, oh, geez, that's a cheesy line, but it worked. It worked.
It's kind of over the top, like character drama as well. Like they literally do the thing where this is like in a murder mystery. Okay, you've got like 6 people in a room. One of them dies. You've now got 5 suspects, and they were all together in a believable situation. Spider-Man is one of those. It's one of those films where it's really like big, as in like the stakes are big, and you know it's happening over like a pretty wide area because like obviously Spider-Man saves people in a certain radius, and the villain happens to be someone who lives in like the same city. But at the same time, it's like there is a scene when all 5 of the characters that matter in the entire film are in the same room. Like,
I know.
There just so happens to be a personal connection between Spider-Man and this one villain.
It's
very much it's a little like soap opera-y, which isn't to say it's bad at all. It's just a little bit amusing and quaint to me.
It's got so much charm that it could easily have be a bad movie, but that charm and sort of I think the actors giving it like the characters, like making the characters chemistry work so well, just suddenly makes it be like, no, I'm fine with this. I'm down. I'm motivated.
I think it it feels like a comic book.
Yeah,
not to say
that's the best way to describe it.
I think that modern Marvel, I think it feels like
it doesn't take itself too seriously. It feels like that's it.
Modern Marvel feels like the slightly gritty graphic novels, whereas this film, it does feel like a comic. Like the actors it's all very well made, but the plot is kind of bonkers. It's over the top, and they know that the Green Goblin is stupid. I think.
Yeah, it's that, but they're having fun with it, and
they're having fun with it, and they are taking it seriously with the silliness as well, and I really think it works.
Also, it's just something like the characters are really strong, and you got J. Jonah Jameson is just completely steals the show.
I did say all five characters that matter all show up. Are all in like the same scene, and whilst that is sort of true, I guess you have like Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson are like the 2 other characters in the film, who I guess also affect the plot. But aside from that, it really is like. Sorry, I've got no real point. I'll shut up. There's really nice scene. Well, I hadn't even thought of this before, but like. Peter Parker's in the room giving J. Jonah Jameson the
all the photos which he somehow got as Spider-Man. How did that happen?
And Jameson is like completely like just being Jameson, just kind of like 200 quid.
That's it. No more, no less.
And trying to I'm talking about the later scene than that. And he's just kind of a jerk and just the general Jameson vibe. Peter Parker leaves the room. Immediately, Green Goblin busts in through the window and starts choking Jameson, asking who the photographer for Spider-Man is. And like instantly, it's like half a second after yelling at Peter Parker, he's like, "I don't know, it comes in the mail," and it made my heart warm.
Yeah, it's. I saw like there's a reference to something like there's a difference between J. Jonah Jameson and Krusty the Krab. Like Krusty the Krab with SpongeBob. Like, Krusty treats SpongeBob really nice and friendly, like his best, and all things like that. However, Krusty's very manipulative and
he's abusing of SpongeBob's passion.
Yeah, but as J. Jonah Jameson, he just tells it as it is. He does not care at all. But he will. But this is his company. He's in charge, and he will take the bullet. Type of thing.
Journalistic integrity.
Yeah. Would you rather be yelled at but get paid than?
to be fair, I mean, he does like. I think earlier on the film he is like, "Oh no, you don't want to work here. You freelance. That's always the way to go. That's perfect for a young man like yourself." It's like, oh yes, no. If there's one thing I've learned in my decades of running this place, is that you belong in the gig economy. I do love it.
But yeah,
God bless. So where do you want to put this film then?
I would put it just below Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, well, okay. So that's what I suggested earlier, and you disagreed.
Well, I think after arguing,
I swayed you.
take it. Yeah, I think it's the main thing. Like, it's very close to being a bad film if it wasn't for like the actor's performance and the characters and such. Like, that's, like it's one of those.
You have to take it for what it is. I think. Man, good stuff. How long have we been going? Okay, we're around 50 minutes in. Any closing thingies? Whatever. You had another conversation topic that you wanted to potentially bring up?
Yeah, running versus biking.
No, this wasn't the one I was thinking of, but...
Oh, well,
sure.
We can move on.
No, we can do this. I don't care.
Well...
What is an organic
Josh,
transition?
You like bikes and doing...
I do like bikes. I finally
cycling.
gotten back on a bike. It's so good. I got back in halfway through a Zwift event. And called the Tour of Watopia. Zwift is a virtual cycling program. And...
That's
so
a
I had
fancy name.
I had to do all these. I had to do it in like double time, which wasn't actually like an issue. I just did one like every other day. But Watopia is the name of like the world. It's their Woohoo Island, but like much worse, and with like instead of cute Wii graphics, it's attempting to be realistic, but it's PlayStation 2 graphics. Maybe PlayStation 2.5. Maybe a little bit better. Yeah. It was. I mean, it's not fancy. It's literally just big group rides with a few hundred people. I treat them like races, but they technically weren't races. Which is a shame because I didn't even do very well with them. That's because I think they weren't like in set categories. It was everyone all at once. So all the people who were like way better than me were in there as well. But
yeah, but. Well, I think you'll be representing Team Bike over here, because I do a run every other day.
So we're talking about, are we talking about for fitness and leisure? Is that what we're going for? Or are we going for in every facet?
I don't know.
Like, because I also want to, because obviously with cycling, way more than running, you can do commuting. So basically, I'm asking, am I allowed to use that argument? Is what I'm asking.
Let's go with fitness. I feel it's a bit more going running versus cycling for fitness.
I actually think, just because of the way the list works, I feel like it would be better not just to have cycling in brackets for fitness. I feel like it would just be better to do cycling in its entirety and running in its entirety. If that's...
Yeah.
Though actually, then running just wins because, like...
There could be unfair advantage for Team Bike, though.
I'm
trying to represent Team Running here.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's an unfair advantage. Because, like, we're comparing them anyway. Like, it's not... If they were completely balanced, then it wouldn't be a competition at all. So, unfair advantages are allowed and also necessary. So...
I'll argue... Yeah, I'll allow it just for the list. I'll allow it for the list.
Honestly, I don't actually know what I have to say. Cycling is maybe a little pricey, but my feet hurt less, and you go fast, and you can go longer distance, so you don't have to like give up and go for like a car. Like if you're commuting, you can go the good old cycle, get that nice old anti-carbon emissions in the air, which I believe bikes give off.
Well, for running, it's free. You don't need to pay any microtransactions to use your legs.
Is that just what they want us to think, though? Think about all the knee strain, Sam. Those hospital bills you're gonna have.
No, the thing is, you need to keep running, and then your legs get fine. Like, I no longer, like, my feet no longer hurt. Like, it was literally, I had 3 runs, my first 3, and then after that, my feet were okay. And because
I used to do the park run in the before times, and I didn't like it, but like I liked showing up for the community, and by that I mean just, like a very select running group. And one day they all went to a different park run, and they didn't tell me, and I was just there alone by myself.
I
did enjoy it.
Running is nice.
Run. I was very stupid. I did it in jeans and like a Christmas jumper one time because I was cold and I didn't want to get there and be freezing before I started running. But I can't bring like a jumper because what will I do with it? Okay, I'll bring a very thin sweater. For some reason, the Christmas jumper I have is extremely thin, but so I can, because you don't really go out that much at Christmas. You won't be inside where it's warm, but you also want to wear a Christmas jumper. So
yeah,
so I have a very thin Christmas jumper, the kind that you can still get away with wearing in a room with a fireplace. And I did a park run wearing it, and it was very, very stupid. And people, to be fair, my jeans weren't they're like black jeans. They weren't like actually denim. They're a bit cooler.
Okay, that redeems yourself a bit there, because
afterwards, I had several strangers come up to me like, "Wow, you did so well. You're very brave of you." It was like they all thought,
wow,
they were like, I felt like I was some complete novice. And they all had to console me on being an absolute idiot who overheated in the middle of December running in a jumper.
Yeah, I do like now that the weather's getting warmer that I can run in sort of shorts and sort of a simple t-shirt. That's very nice with the sun.
To quickly finish my point, I did actually go and do a park run on Christmas Day though, and it was amazing. It was so good. There were some people wearing like inflatable, like fat Santa suits.
Lots
of people were just wearing really dumb stuff like that. It was fantastic. I loved it. Yeah, you should. You're too far for. There's a possibility that you're moving a little bit back. Because you're thinking of moving soon, so you may end up closer to us again, which will be good if you could do. Either way, park runs are cool, and you should try and do a Christmas one year.
Yeah, definitely will.
Sorry, I've gone off track.
Bikes v running.
I enjoy cycling more than I enjoy running. That's the end of my argument.
I also like cycling. I do like.
How are you gonna win the Tour de France running, Sam? Moron.
I definitely cycling with friends. That's really fun. Like I do sort of. You go out. There's a picnic area. I think running is. I was
actually thinking of getting a little racing license and attending bike races, like road cycling races.
Ooh.
It was really British cycling memberships make no bloody sense. You can get it's like, okay, so I need a racing license. Okay, that's great. You also need but you need to get a racing license. You need a British cycling membership. There's like 4 different types of British cycling membership, all of which have a bronze, silver, and gold tier. You need a British cycling racing membership. So I was like, okay, great, I'll just get a British cycling bronze membership. But then you find out, you also need a racing license on top. Okay, why would I be getting a racing membership? Like, it feels like it should just be included, right? You can't just get a British cycling racing membership, you also need it of a certain. You need like to pay the silver tier, and then also go out of your way, and then also buy a racing license. I just feel like I should just be able to just. One button. Why do I have to research so much to find this out? The website sucks as well.
Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying.
It's just, yeah. It's one of these things where it feels like it's systems built upon systems built upon systems, and so now it's to the point where unless you have like an actual someone who's done it, you know, and been involved in cycling for years, and had someone teach them back in the day, who could now tell you what you're actually supposed to be doing. Like, I have no idea what races I'll be able to attend with all of, even once I've got all this stuff. Like, I don't know what I can actually attend and what I can't. It's very hard to understand. I'm gonna have to call up the old youth worker we know who now lives in Uganda. Because he does cycling, right? It's like I have no idea who to ask. But yeah, I think it's a really fun sport. But it's very expensive. I feel like the problem with the thing about running is that it was very. I think it was necessary. Obviously, humans evolved to do it.
Yeah,
it's
a natural thing.
Yeah, in a way, like, this is what I think about sometimes when I look at, like, the Olympics, is there are sports which are, like, natural, and then there are some which are kind of built on top of that. So, like, you've got...
Yeah, what's it, like, shooting's a good example. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Because it's from hunting. And
like, you've got... Well, no, like, I think running is like a very simple, like, human thing we've evolved to do. And then you can kind of, and you get some other basic things. And I feel like, there's then two extensions. One of them is something that sort of makes sense, but isn't a very basic human thing. So like shooting, I think kind of cycling as well. These are things where they are human things that we've been doing a lot en masse, but at the same time they're a little bit further, and there's other things which are like complete, like I guess,
shot
like
put?
football and.
I just imagine no one does shot put really as much.
I don't even know what that is.
Shot put. You have a giant ball, and then you throw it, and then you try and see how far you throw the ball.
Right.
And that's literally the whole thing.
So that just sounds like javelin throwing.
It's
but
like
worse.
javelin, but cannonball instead.
Right.
And yeah, that's shot put.
Fair enough. Fucking discus for nerds. Get out of here.
So, which one? Where should we go? I'm thinking it's just a little below the Kung Fu Pandas. I think it's round in that area.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Running and cycling.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I think that running is like quite fundamental to humanity. I guess I mean, this list is being kind of clear that we don't even like humanity in the past. Like, humans are what? 6th from the bottom. Number 60 out of 65.
That's great.
And so it's like, okay, well, how much do we care about running? But running, I mean, if you want to get really abstract about running, you know, it's not just humans that do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Though it would be cooler if I saw a cheetah cycling. So maybe cycling still runs out.
Oh.
I'm not sure if... I'm not sure if the idea of running versus cycling even... It's too much to think about in my head, because I like to just... One thing at a time, because this is already a game of comparison.
Well, should we rank... Let's rank running first, and then we'll go on to bikes.
Okay.
I
think running is worse than you, Sam. I think you're better than running.
I'll agree to that statement. Another win for Team Sam here.
Yeah.
Something I'm better at. Well, hey. I
also think it's better than tractors.
True. I think running is...
that leaves us only with dying in the woods becoming one with the trees.
Are we still up there? Is that where you're going to put running?
Well, yeah, I think running's big. I think running matters more than the Truman Show. Like, I think it matters more than most of these films. I also think they're better than grasshoppers and crickets. Though I realise I am actually saying that would make it that it is better than the game Monster Prom, and there's a tall order. Because loving my monster waifus.
I will put it just below tractors.
Wow. Okay. I don't agree, but I won't argue.
Tractor, running's fun, but it's nothing against tractor. Like, if you're running as fast, and then suddenly your boy Bill the farmer comes along and his tractor.
Yeah, I guess if you
flexes all over you.
If you went back 10,000 years ago, and you could either give them all of humans a pair of great running shoes,
or
in order to bolster their running, or readily available tractors, I think one of them's going to advance civilization more than the other.
Oh no! I'm forgetting which one is more likely to get you your date. Saying that you're good at running, or that you've got a tractor
certified.
The tractor out back, do you want a quick joyride?
Ooh.
I think we know who's going home tonight, if you know what I mean.
In a way, you could argue this is actually about whether... I mean, this is the problem with getting more abstract about things. You could almost argue that it's an argument of whether you think the Industrial Revolution was a good thing or not. Because in a way, tractors kind of are the heart of what the Industrial Revolution was, because suddenly you didn't need
50 peasants pulling at a giant
you didn't
hoe.
need
you didn't need them
an entire community hired for some farmland. A handful of people could look after acres.
The Industrial Revolution is a very interesting time. I'd love to research more about it.
Yeah.
The impact it had was huge. And there's...
Yeah, I mean, we think about humans being awful and being everywhere and dominating the planet, and that is true, and that was, I'm sure, arguably the case before the Industrial Revolution, but the Industrial Revolution was so much of that. It is the reason for so much of, particularly in our part of the world. It's our entire, this entire country's way of life. It has affected everything on the planet.
Yeah,
in some way or another.
Without it, we wouldn't have half of medicine probably wouldn't have advanced, half of communication and such. So much happened during a really small period of time. It was kind of crazy.
But it negatively impacted bees. So I think, according to this list, which of course is about the moral... It's about, choices. I think we've already determined that I think it's officially a bad thing if it negatively affects bees. That's the be-all, end-all.
No, can't argue. Can't argue there. Can't argue against the bees.
Cool. Running. We'll put that maybe in misc. I'll put it in the misc category.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Man, cycling. Cycling's good.
I think it's close. It's close. It's close to running.
I think from a more... I think in the modern day, obviously, we've got cars and buses and taxis or whatever. Obviously, you need to have the upfront cost of a bike, which is really the only... I think it's honestly the only downside of a bike. You could argue it does have an environmental impact, but not more so than a lot of meals. Or a few meals.
There's a bit of monetary price to it. However, you can go much further. There is far more. There's much more utility it serves.
I think, obviously we are talking about like post. We are mostly talking about the modern day and stuff, and about. Obviously, the assumption is that we're talking about like kind of stuff based off our worldview, which is based off a very specific location and time. Because ultimately, like it just hit me. Our experience of the world is so extraordinarily narrow if you take like time into account. Like obviously, there's the whole world, and we are us and our group of friends make a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of percent of the world population. But like even like from a time scale, if you think about how quickly things have changed and how they're continuing to change, like things look so different from 100 years ago. They look so different from how they will in 50 years.
I know
we're so blind in a way.
I know. It's crazy. Like 100 years ago, like.
But the point I was kind of building to before I shocked myself was the idea that I think a bike was kind of when it was like an affordable means of like I don't know how pricey it was comparatively, but like before cars, I think it was a very good invention. Is my point. Sorry, very rambly.
Well, are we talking about the penny farthing here?
About what, sorry?
You know the Victorian giant wheeled bicycle.
Oh right, yeah.
So yeah,
Did people actually use that? I've only seen images of like posh people in suits using them.
But because it was a luxury, they only risked it for them.
But maybe it's because they were impractical and stupid, but posh people thought they were fancy.
But I would say maybe bikes can go down a little bit because of how dumb penny farthings are.
Those are different things.
They're bikes. It's the same thing.
No. No, you can put human-powered wheeled vehicles as a category, and you can put them wherever you want. But bikes are their own thing. We're talking specifically about bikes.
But a penny farthing is a bike.
No, it's not.
I
don't know. Penny.
You're getting angry here? I'm going to stand my ground here. This is penny farthing's a bike. It has two wheels.
Okay. It was also known as a high wheeler, or ordinary, was the first machine to be called they used bunny ears, quotation marks, bicycle.
So it's true.
So it became obsolete with the development of modern bicycles. So the Wikipedia does call them bicycles, but it says it's quote unquote a bicycle, and it became obsolete with the development of modern bicycles. I want to say it's not a modern bicycle. We can say that we're talking about modern bicycles, not bicycles, if we need to. Man, I feel like this is the one where it's going to be hard because I think we're too opposite. I love bikes. I
love bikes too, but it's the history. The history of the penny farthing is staying on bikes' honour.
No, we're talking. Okay, modern bicycles. Prick. Because I kind of brought like I put the imagery of the origin of running and the importance of it for our species into our minds, and so now you kind of have to weigh cycling against that in a way, and I don't think it can compete, simply because I don't know, they're not as versatile, and you don't have a bike on you at all times if you ever need to run from
Yeah, I've just sewed the image of just a clown on a unicycle with a penny farthing for the bikes.
Unicycles are completely different. Don't you dare. Okay, that's just, I think we've reached like an hour anyway, so I think we should wrap up. Okay, let's just throw some numbers. Where do you want to put bicycles? Modern bicycles.
Under Damien LeVay.
Damien LeVay. Damien LeVay is a hot demon from Monster Prom. We've got Tractors number 21, followed by Running 22, Damien at 23. Oh, you're killing me. I want to say...
Sorry.
I want to say that they're one step above Tractors. I want to say that they are superior to All But Dying in the Woods and Becoming One with the Trees. But I guess... Obviously, between that and Damien LeVay, it's only Tractors and Running. And if you believe that they're worse than Running, we are at an impasse. I don't think either of us are going to budge.
We could toss a coin. A coin?
I think...
No, we can't. I feel like last time. We can't do that.
The totally true fact that this is morally correct and has to be agreed.
I did that mistake last time as well.
Two people.
Ah.
I feel like we can't. I don't know. For my own setup gag of the podcast that I won't back down on because it's in my mind as what the canon of this pseudo narrative is. We have to pretend that it's an intellectual decision made by intellectuals.
And me.
And you. You think they're running? I'll put it. Fine. Modern bikes, one step below Running.
I'm down. Okay, deal.
Okay, I don't think that's. I'll come back with like road bikes in the future. When you're not my co-host, I'll sneak road bikes into like
just in
the
spite
top
of me.
5. Well then, I think that was a way too long a conversation about running and bikes.
I know that got.
That's fine. That's fine though. People don't come here expecting a good podcast, so we're alright. Palamo, so that makes it number 23 out of around about 67.
Woohoo! It's getting bigger.
Wow. So we have reviewed in total. Oh, we kind of did a lot today. We did. I think me and Emily only did 3 things last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. But yeah, we've done.
We went into some B-lore.
Number 2, Legendary B-Unicorn. 16, Samurai Spiderman. 20, Dying in the Woods. 22, Running, followed by Cycling, and 52, Cheese on Toast. We Blauno.
An efficient day, I would call this.
Yes, quite. Here.
Here.
Thank you for joining me, Sam.
My pleasure.
Thank you for joining us, whoever the hell has made the grave mistake of listening to this. Please do, reach out. Tell us, insult us for badly ranking your favourite thing. Tell us what we should review. Love you very much. Mwah. Good to have you. I have been Joshua Joel.
I have been Samuel Collier.
And we'll see you later, honey.
Wink. A wink.
Such a bad outro. I love it.